Welcome to Notepad. I'm your host, Ibrahim Sani. We are starting the process of restarting Malaysia. We want to understand a little bit better about companies that have gone through the painful phase of the movement control order following the COVID-19. We're trying to understand a little bit better about how companies are evolving and adjusting to the COVID-19 pandemic. One of the biggest companies in the world, of course, is IBM, and joining us this evening is IBM Malaysia's Catherine Lian. She's the MD or Managing Director of IBM Malaysia. Catherine, thanks again for taking the time to speak with us. I just want to understand a little bit better about how the company has been faring over the past few months following COVID-19 and the MCO.
Right. Hi, Ibrahim. Thank you for your time. It has been indeed a challenging time for us when we started off with the COVID-19 lockdown. But as we actually enter into the new normal of the overall environment, we have embraced through a lot of our changes, how we work and how we actually serve our clients and our enterprise industries across Malaysia. Now, we have actually talked about how we actually also built up a digital transformation and moving forward on how we can help organizations to deal with uncertainty and to adapt on the changing environments.
We'll get to that later. I just want to understand about IBM Malaysia per se. Clearly, you guys have not been working the same way over the past 2-3 months. Tell me how you guys have been adapting to COVID-19.
Well, it has actually been quite a challenging time for us in the first month. Of course, everybody was trying to actually struggle through to get through the new normal. So we actually had a lot of utilization of our own technology as well, going through constant WebEx, making sure that our clients and our enterprise industry are addressed within their essential needs. It has actually stabilized down over the past many months. Our measurements of our client success has always been our key focus, and making sure that our employees are safe at all times.
What does new normal mean for IBM? How have you guys adapted to the changes?
Right, like many other organizations in Malaysia and across the world, the new normal includes our working from home, making sure that we are all staying put to working together as a team through conference calls, video calls, and even providing IBM support assist to our clients. Right now, we are using digital transformation to assist our clients rather than running through at sites. Most of the things that we are doing now is actually remote management.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about digital transformation. Let's talk about remote management. Are these things new, right? When you talk about pre and post COVID-19, COVID-19 is going to stay with us. How has things changed in you rolling out your services for your clients now that MCO is slowly being lifted and we're slowly restarting Malaysia, slowly restarting IBM Malaysia, and just Malaysian businesses in general?
IBM recognizes these challenges. In fact, COVID-19 pandemic will accelerate the digital transformation and the modernization journey across Malaysia.
How are you going to change that?
Well, what we actually are doing now is to actually run through a very key, vital importance of partnership with the government.
What does that mean?
It means that we actually have to emerge through to provide a very strong imperative education, imperative support on the nature of the cloud AI and also technologies that they are more business resilience and running through on the recovery.
The thing is, you guys have been doing cloud, you guys have been doing AI for quite a bit. In fact, one could argue that you guys are pioneer in this field. So how has things changed?
Right. What has actually changed is that the organizations themselves begin to understand that the transformation journeys are now important than before. A room of improvement and investment is critical now. Now, most of the organizations has realized that they are repurposing their budget and also their investment to make sure that when we are actually looking at the new normal, there is actually a infrastructure and solutioning support to actually enhance the organization. Not only that, also to serve the clients that they are in any industries that they are around.
So because they realize the importance to, using your own words, repurpose and realign their own resources to make it more minimal and optimal, does it make it easier for you guys to do your job, trying to impress upon your clients, okay, this is the way to go, automation, AI, robotics, it makes it a lot easier to sell your, I guess, services moving forward, right?
We strongly believe that the adoption of the transformation journey in cloud and AI has accelerated. And I think this is actually critical for us now as we run a collaboration. And if you look at not only IR 4.0, looking at banking sector, telecommunications, healthcare, these are the most essential critical sectors now that will realize that the transformation journey in the digital technology will enhance the way that they actually look forward in their business survival in the next
When
few
you
years.
say accelerated, can you describe to us how things have indeed accelerated from a state of motion of nothing to, very fast? What are the instances and examples that you can share with us?
Right. What we are actually seeing differently now within the landscape of Malaysia is the need for the organizations to invest in AI technology and cloud. Most of the customers and clients are coming back to ask for us to actually strike on a solutioning proposal, especially in their cost optimization strategy, in their supply chain enhancement, and also the way that they serve the clients. Now, currently, I must say that in a lot of organizations has infrastructure in any part that they are in, but the enhancement of making through the remote management has actually kick-started the way that the transformation journey has begun.
Okay, but my question is to describe and illustrate cases where things have changed. You were using acceleration as a verb. How has things accelerated?
Right. So my example, if you look at how government has actually used technology even to track the COVID-19, right?
Okay.
The Malaysia portals that have been done to track on traffic management. If you're talking about My Sejahtera portal, right, to actually check on trackings, I think these are the right ways of samples that we have done. ATM machines has been actually non-functional in a period of time during the MCO. The digital boarding has actually started where most of the online mobile applications is now essential for the banking industry. These are the examples has actually led to the essentiality of what we actually see as a technology-driven business moving forward.
I don't think anybody would disagree with you if you say that cloud and artificial intelligence is the way forward. However, if you get 10 people in front of you and say, okay, you guys agree that AI and cloud is great, I think 10 hands will shoot up. But I think when you say, okay, who wants a solutioning proposal for cloud and AI, I don't know how many hands will shoot up, but definitely not all 10 hands. What is still the challenge for businesses to adopt cloud and AI in their products and services?
Right. So, Ibrahim, you're right. I think there is every industry, AI and cloud in the same acceleration and timing, especially if I take, for example, government, banking industry, and telecommunication will be the first few industries to realize the adoption. Now, there are actually a couple of areas that one organization has to actually look at before the embarkation, which is to do with the current structure that they are in, the future landing of technology that they hope to embark through so that they can actually run on a hybrid resiliency of cloud strategy and making sure that they recognize the challenges and also the importance. Now, there are many piecemeals that can put together, and the last key essential is really about workforce. The workforce within the organization must be ready to embrace the changes because it's essential that the streamline of business solutions will run through the imperative of the agility as they move forward to take on the new technologies ahead.
The thing is, when you talk about the three sectors, telco, government, and financial services, they have a lot of capex spend, and they are large organizations. You know, we're talking at least 10,000 staff or employees type of organizations. And I can understand if they are the first adopters or the first movers in this. My question would be on all the other guys, right? And I know IBM is a huge company, and we know that IBM has been around for yonks, right? How are you going to help all the other businesses in all the other sectors that will benefit from utilizing AI? You know, companies in the agricultural sector, for instance, we know food is going to get more scarce moving forward. Transportation is going to be a big deal, you know, when we talk about not just Grab and all that, but you know, all the other startup delivery companies, right? How can you guys, you know, give them all the help they can get when they adopt AI technology? They need it more than the big guys that you spoke of just now.
Our goal at IBM Malaysia is to help more Malaysian companies survive in this crisis. Now, what we aspire to leverage on is through three prongs. Number one, education. We hope that we can actually be able to provide education across to the SMEs companies on the importance need. Number two is to actually partner with government agencies like MDEC, for example, to provide a source of support infrastructure and platform for the SMEs to realize that it is actually an important wave of agility for them to adopt into cloud and AI. Lastly, is actually IBM to be able to provide a digital platform. So let me just share with you what we aspire run on a digital platform means that we are actually partnering through with the Malaysian government, Ministry of Education, to provide PTech program across a digital skills shortage in Malaysia. Now, when I actually realized what we need to do is a formation of an ecosystem that we actually have to grasp through for the SME industries to come on board, literally investing in the technology to make sure that they survive through the next couple of agendas of crisis.
Okay, so you're looking at partnerships with MDEC, you're looking at education, perhaps you know you host your own or some form of SME organization. Do you think that's enough in trying to reach out to the various sectors that need and you know, crucial for them to adopt cloud and AI?
The sustainable growth has to be a platform of a structure where we actually build it together within Malaysia. Well, with the efforts of IBM Malaysia, we believe that this is a journey, but the journey has to actually start from building up the businesses, the economy, and the society of education. It is definitely going to be a crawl, walk, run strategy, but we hope that with a kickstart that we have actually received on the past many months, the reskilling of the world, the reskilling of the organizations, we will need to continue to work harder to drive for the future modernization.
Catherine, is it the issue of capital? Is it because SMEs just don't have the cash needed to get this done?
With the current situation, is really repurposing of the current capital that they have on hand. Right, and with the repurposing of current capital on hand, I will use a quote, kita jaga kita, right? It is all about making sure that they actually bring up the basic essential needs and then reinvestment into the secondary needs. Yes, it is to do with their capex capacity. It is also to do with the resource capacity. I think both of them combined is where we will need to continue to move the lever to drive the resiliency.
So you're asking them to meet halfway, basically. You're trying to get them to say, to use your own words, raise the minimum or primary standards. And the way you describe it is repurposing the capital that they have, and of course get the right people within their organization to make it work with you guys. Is that the message here?
That is where we aspire to get into, Ibrahim, because every SME organization across Malaysia has a very different sets of tiering of their business structure. And what I mean by that is that with the regulatory aspects of arranging for instantaneous insights to the organization, we will actually get the real-time discussions with the organizations to meet their needs. Okay. Currently, it's all about cost optimization. And for me, it will definitely be something that we want to work on with the SMEs to address their deliverables.
All right, we'll take a short break. When we come back, we'll continue on our conversation with Catherine Lian, the MD of IBM Malaysia. Welcome back. I am with Catherine Lian, the MD of IBM Malaysia. We're talking about restarting Malaysia, a little mini-series that I am starting right now because Malaysia is slowly easing into the businesses or restarting the businesses after the MCO. Catherine, we talked a little bit about the SMEs and how IBM wants to work with them. Let's talk about the big guys here, or the big ladies actually. IBM has continuously provided MDs who are ladies over the past, 10 years. I've been happy to interview you guys over the past 10 years. Let's talk a little bit about the nature of the three big sectors that you touched upon just now. Governmental sectors, telco, which by the way have just gotten the spectrum allocation earlier this week, and of course financial services. And of course Malaysia is rather advanced when we talk about countries that have adopted financial technology or fintech. And because of the adoption of just one area, which is fintech for financial sector, and many others, right? Telcos for 5G, governmental sector for instance, track and trace. All this will require huge, insatiable amount of data, and only AI can best optimize the utility of these kind of data. We've seen IBM roll out these kind of solutions in many countries. I've seen one demonstration when I went to CES, how IBM Israel was doing for that country. I've seen how IBM America, for instance, have worked closely hand in hand with telcos like Verizon and many others. In Malaysia, it's going to be a tough challenge because while you guys are there, your clients need a lot of help getting to where you guys are at. What would be some of the key challenges in you getting the big companies to adopt the kind of technologies that you are ready to offer them?
Right, thank you, Ibrahim. Now, when we actually talk about digital transformation and sometimes across major sectors, the important thing that we wanted to actually drive across is what dominates the force of digital transformation and enabling this level of agility. Now, this recent COVID-19 crisis has taught us choosing which technology platforms power a business is more sequential decision, and moreover is how we serve the clients on ground. Now, definitely there are actually challenges on the ground. If you actually look at the banking sectors today, there is actually so much of a journey that's actually crossing through. And you talk about the loan moratoriums as well. Now, with the heavy loaded through of what is getting through, I think it's critical that we actually get through what we call it as the essential needs for them to optimize the way that they are running through their businesses and also on their optimization of their cost. Providing robust solutions is only one way. Making sure that we deliver to the needs of their organization now is the only one thing that we want to do, making sure that they make the right decisions across all the time in the way that they are. Now, the COVID-19 has successfully made us realize that we have been surviving through the support of the government, normal structure of making sure that every part of the way, the safety of the people are as an importance. This is an exemplary of how IBM Malaysia is also re-educating through to the three sectors of economies that choosing a technology platform is all about sequential decisions.
Yeah, but my question is, how do you get the three sectors on board to your platform? What you have stated are just, quite frankly, jargons. I'm trying to understand the necessary steps that you are taking, you, the MD of IBM Malaysia, are taking for the organization that you're leading, IBM Malaysia, to get the big corporations and government on board to close that knowledge gap as fast as possible? You guys have all the necessary skills, all the necessary talents, and the necessary services that you can roll out, but there is an adoption hiccup on our end here. How do you guys get them over to your side?
Okay, so with a reference, if I can actually give an example,
Why not?
Okay, right. If I can actually give an example, in the government sector, we continue to actually have a lot of insights education. For example, IBM Malaysia is the consultant for Penang State. And currently, Penang State is actually leveraging on what we call it as our IOC center to provide through the Intelligence Operations Center, rather, to provide through utilization of technology to embark into providing the essential support to all their officers on the road. We have got video analytics on. We also have the traffic management to actually have the eyes and ears on the ground for them to manage the state better. This is one of the examples. So when we actually talk about banking sectors, we are now partnering with large partners to look at how we can run through with the big banking sectors on the cost optimization currently. And what do I mean by cost optimization? It's actually leveraging on the platform of transformation, be it hybrid cloud, AI, to serve their clients and to also optimize their modernization of the future. Now, these are the examples that we are running through, and I hope this gives you an insight.
Yeah, now you're giving me a better picture of how you guys are doing it. My last question to you is, what about your competitors? Because some of them, big guys, and they are happy to, provide the same kind of solution for your clients, and it's going to be a tough industry for you guys to operate on. How do you manage that? How do you manage your competitors in this realm of business, which is going to be, you have little competitors, but each of them are quite substantial in terms of what they can bring, just like you guys. How do you solve that?
IBM Malaysia continues to focus on our key strengths to actually make sure that we actually get through the adoption across. We are having a common ground here in Malaysia that all companies are excited and aware of what they need to do. Yeah. I think the emerging technologies that could offer today, it is all about IBM Malaysia having the competitive edge of technology and having the of technologies in getting through the skills gaps, and also the technology is where the concerns are today. Now, we continue to focus on where we are on our transformation journey on our cloud, AI, data analytics, and security. Every organization will understand through the expectations of the future. And we continue to inspire these organizations across Malaysia and the government industry, spectacularly on the state governments that we currently are consultants for their digital transformation. We hope that the critical issues that we address and the deployment that we run through our technology will be a differentiator with our competitors here in Malaysia.
Definitely, fantastic. As a parting, salvo, IBM Malaysia, not just IBM Malaysia, IBM as in general has been there since day one. Computers started. You guys are there, bringing about cloud, AI, robotics, streamlining businesses. From 1,000 kind of functions, you can streamline it into minimal functions. People are aware of the kind of requirements needed. Do you think that this whole pandemic, MCO, and or lockdown or whatever, circuit breaker, whatever functions you want to call it around the world, this is a wake-up call for businesses to say, you know what, the old ways of doing things is done. We've been telling you guys this over the past, I don't know how many decades. You need to optimize your business. Do you think that this is, there's a silver lining with this pandemic?
Very well said, Ibrahim. IBM has survived through 109 years of the global pandemic history. Yeah, 109 years of global pandemic history has actually taught us one thing. It is all about survival. And on the survival mode, it is definitely a kickstart to most of the organizations on the way that they're going to look at transformation journey very differently. The adoption will be accelerated, but we will also share with you that the digital skills gaps will continue to increase. That's why IBM Malaysia is here to actually commit to our responsibility, not only to the government, but also to the people and to our enterprise organizations, that the crisis is here for us to tackle, adoption is here for us to accelerate.
Well, when you say skills gap increase, I look at it as a good thing, right? Because you are continuously learning yourselves what's new, and people are slowly, catching up. It's good. You're enlarging that kind of knowledge base.
Yeah, so Ibrahim, IBM has collaborated recently with Ministry of Education and that we are preparing the Malaysian youth to the technology-related careers. We are introduced PTech education model in Malaysia. We have got 2 schools on board with us, and the students will now easily have a high growth new collar jobs after they graduate from the PTech education. And this is something that we are excited of, because this setting through the wave of the next few years to come. And that's where we are here to serve the country.
Fantastic. I wish you all the best. I'm pretty sure that 2020 is going to be a year that you didn't expect when you planned and budgeted how the year is going to be late last year. But I really wish you guys all the best. That was Catherine Lian, the Managing Director of IBM Malaysia. It's a fantastic conversation there. If you want to learn more about conversations like this, just head on to astroawani.com, look for Notepad over there. Again, IBM is one of those companies that I want to talk to occasionally, every once or 2 years, because the kind of gap that you guys bring is just crazy. Catherine, thanks very much. Selamat Hari Raya to you, and goodbye.